Welcome to part 2 of how to analyze your golf swing from the face-on view using free apps or your iPhone or Android device. The app we use is called Technique by Hudl, but we have recently discovered that Technique is no longer available on Android devices at the time of this recording, so we have switched to Coachnow, which has similar features, capabilities, and is also free. Using the app, draw a vertical line on the left side of the head and a second line from the right hip bone down the thigh for right-hand golfers. At setup, the ball placement is just inside the left heel with the driver, with a stance that is slightly wider than the shoulder width. For other clubs, the ball placement moves back towards the middle of the stance, and the stance narrows, but we'll cover ball position and stance in another video. The lead foot is flared out about 15 degrees open. The trail foot is pointing straight forward towards the camera. The upper body has a slight angle tilt away from the ball, and the trail shoulder is slower than the lead shoulder. During the takeaway, the shoulders initiate the club back and the left arm. Hands and club shaft make a straight line until the hands reach the trail leg. The club face remains facing the target, and the hips and legs remain mostly still during this part of the backswing. We have included an old picture of Tiger Woods when he was coached by Butch Harmon. Notice how his arms, hands, and club shaft make a straight line during his takeaway, which is different than Adam Scott. When the club is parallel to the ground on the backswing, the left arm is straight and the right arm is slightly flexed but clearly visible. Note there is still very little hip turn at this point, and the hips remain behind the line. The weight has now been transferred to the trail foot. The weight transfer occurs automatically without swaying or leaning since the hands and arms are extended over the trail foot. When the left arm is parallel to the ground, the wrist should be fully hinged or close to it depending on the club. With irons, the wrist should be fully hinged, but with the driver, the arc is wider, thus the hinge is slightly delayed. Your right hip should remain on the line when the left arm is parallel, and then a slight gap will be created after the left arm continues to the top of the swing as their hips move towards the right heel. At the top of the swing, draw a line from outside of the ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder. This should be one straight line. If you don't have the flexibility, then allow the lead knee to bend in slightly. The left arm should be at 11 o'clock at the top of the swing and straight. Depending on your flexibility, the height of the hand should be above the head, and your head should turn slightly away from the ball to allow a bigger shoulder turn. Most importantly, the right knee is pointing forward and the right foot is flat on the ground. The sequence of the downswing is critical for more power and accuracy. To start the downswing, the lead knee moves on top of the lead foot while maintaining the coil of the upper body. When the lead knee moves, it pulls the hips laterally slightly in order to move pressure to the lead foot and position the lower leg so it can push off and push the left hip back. The lead knee movement will automatically bring the left arm down back to parallel position and the hips back to facing forward. The hands are just inside the toe line, similar to the backswing, and the L or wrist hinge is maintained. The right foot is still pointed forward with weight on the instep. The head remains behind the ball where it is set up, and for better players, the head is lowered to generate more power in the next section. The lead leg is now in a position to push the left hip back, almost as if the lead leg is jumping in the air to push the hip back. Phil Mickelson describes it as a jump and push in this video by Callaway Golf, where Phil talks to Kyle Berkshire, world long drive champion.
Right, so I had great hand power, great arm speed, but my legs were nothing. So when I try to hit it harder, I try to push with this front leg where I usually kind of sag. I try to really jump and push. I notice that
In this video, watch how Kyle plants his left foot, then jumps and pushes his left hip back, allowing him to strike the ball on the upswing for more distance with the driver. This is an extreme swing for the long drive contest, but he uses the same hip mechanics to hit a stock 8-iron 200 yards with a normal swing. Pushing the left hip back will cause the hip to open and automatically bring the hands down to the thigh. At this point, the shaft should be parallel to the ground and the wrist hinge has been maintained but starts to release when the hands reach the trail leg. The head remains behind the line and the shoulders are parallel to the target and facing the camera like at setup. The trail foot is still pointed forward but rolled towards the target. Notice how the hip position is different with an iron. Tiger Woods moves his left leg to post up on top of the left foot, then pushes the hip up and back, which allows the club to hit down and compress the ball. At impact, the left shoulder, arm, knee, and club shaft are stacked on top of the left foot in one straight line at a slight angle upwards with the driver, and right on top of the left foot with an iron. The right heel is angled closer to the target, and both legs are relatively straight, creating a reverse K with the right knee driving towards the left knee. The belly button remains behind the lead foot as the left hip moves upwards and back. When the arm is parallel to the ground after impact, the right hand looks like you are shaking hands. The arm and club are one straight line with the club shaft pointing directly down the target line. The thumbs are on top of the shaft, the toe of the club is straight up, and the chest is facing the target. At the follow-through, the entire body is vertical on top of the lead foot. The trail foot is on the toe, and the belly button is pointing at the target. Thank you for watching the video. Please add your comments below since we will use your comments to continually make improvements to our videos. Please watch part 1, where we discuss the golf swing from the down the line view. Remember, the more you practice, the luckier you get. Bye for now.